Okay, if I could have your attention just a second. Like I said, we had a few more people than we've ever had before, ever. We're going to have to get started, and maybe if you've heard your candidate, we can open it up a little bit for somebody else to sit there. But anyway, we're going to get started. Let's have a word of prayer. Lord, we thank you for all the people that are here. We thank you for all the candidates that are here. We thank you for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now, Lord, we pray that America would be one nation under God. In God we trust. That's our motto. And Lord, we need you to help us right now, if you please. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Okay, our first candidate is Richard Brown, who's running for Metro Council District 15.
Thank you, Dr. Simon, for the invitation tonight. It's actually a privilege to be here among such good folk. I'm in District 15. My name is Richard Brown. I am a proud conservative, a proud pro-constitutionalist. I am pro-constitution. I am pro-life, and I am proud about that, and I'm not going to change. I'm running in District 15. I'm around Churchill Downs area, and some of you folks go, well, that's not my area. Yes, it is your area. This is your election. You, everyone in this room, have skin in this game. Because if I lose this election, someone on the Democrat Party side will be elected, and they will vote to raise your taxes. They will vote to take your guns. They will vote to fund abortion with taxpayer dollars. They will vote to raise your insurance rates. I won't. I want jobs. You want people off welfare? Do you know there's no Target stores west of I-65? Think about that. There are no Target stores, no Olive Gardens. And I live near Churchill Downs. 160,000 people come around there a year. Drive down Field Avenue. There's more potholes than there are mutual windows at the Derby. That would never last in St. Matthews or Prospect. Why is it lasting for the good, hardworking people, many of them veterans, many of them elderly, retired people in my district? Why is that happening? And yes, I even say that to my Republican friends in the Metro Council. I'm sorry. I'm going to hold people accountable. I fully intend to kick over the table. And if I do something wrong, and if I stick my foot in my mouth, make me chew. I do not have a stock fund. I do not have conflicts of interest. I'm running because I love and I care about my neighbors that have been good to me and my family for the past 18 years. And I love my community, and I love all my friends, and I love all you all here. But for people that choose to overdose 15 and 16 times, and our government is letting them go every single time, ladies and gentlemen, that is not compassion. That is cruelty. It is cruel to our children. It is cruel to our law-abiding citizens. It is cruel to our employers, and it must stop. And if it doesn't stop, as your Metro Council person, I will file a 14th Amendment charge against whoever I have to, because that is not equal protection under the law. Our housing values are much lower than, they're not appreciating at all. And our homeowners insurance rates are double than what you would pay in Valley Station or in Middletown. So you're punishing the poor, you're punishing African Americans, you're punishing hardworking people. I'm going to change all of that. I'm not afraid of that. I was a Teamster for 4 years. I walked the picket line. I love working people, but I'm also right to work because I don't want a person to have to pay union dues and then have their money being given to people that do not respect their values and the hard work that they do. And if people don't like Matt Bevin because of that, talk to John Yarmouth. He could have overturned right to work almost 10 years ago, and he chose not to do it because he doesn't care about working people either. I appreciate this time. Thank you very much, Dr. Simon, for the opportunity to be here. This is your district. This is your fight. I need not only your votes, I need your support. Yard signs are expensive. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next speaker is David Tapp, who's running for the Supreme Court.
Good evening, everybody. My name is David Tapp. And in a way, you all don't have skin in my game. There is not a single person in this room who's going to be able to cast a ballot for me. Nevertheless, some skin in the game. How many lawyers we got in here? Couple? You can't play. Put your hands down. Thank you. How many of you can name non-lawyers? Name, if you can, one member of the Kentucky Supreme Court. Anybody? Not a one. Sure cannot. And there's a reason for that. Abraham Lincoln famously said, elections belong to the people. And if they want to turn their back to the fire and burn their behinds, well, then they're going to have to sit on their blisters. If you have concerns about the direction of your government, if you have concerns about laws that may come out of the General Assembly or things that happen with the executive branch, you must also think of the judiciary. And I know we have some judicial candidates here this morning, and what's really disturbing is that what Abraham Lincoln said so many years ago remains true today. The fact is, when we come to judicial races, no matter how important they are, like the Kentucky Supreme Court, what happens is that 40 to 50% of the people who will cast a ballot in the highest partisan race will not bother to vote in the judicial races, including for the Kentucky Supreme Court. And that's a shame, because the 7 men and women who make up the Supreme Court ultimately have final sway over every single decision reached in courts like mine. I've been a circuit judge since 2005. They ultimately hold sway over every act which is going to be passed by our General Assembly, every regulation adopted by the executive branch, and yet we don't even know who those 7 men and women are. And that is a shame, and that is what Abraham Lincoln was warning us about. So my district does not comprise Louisville. Doesn't take into Louisville. I only come as far west as Bardstown, and then a total of 27 counties throughout south central Kentucky. But I wanted to be here for 2 reasons. One, to talk about the apathy that affects judicial elections and how important it is to get out to vote. And second, I wanted to come and say thank you personally for the endorsement of this wonderful group. I believe in the ideals of this group. I am committed to a fundamental interpretation of our constitutional rights, and I would urge that when you go vote, you encourage everybody else to go vote, but absolutely vote smart, including in your judicial races. Thank you for allowing me to be in Louisville tonight. God bless you all and have a good evening.
We, for the first time, had a panel of attorneys that reviewed all of these judges, tried to find out which ones were the best. A lot of work went into those judicial endorsements, so take that. We'd like everyone to get a bunch of these voter guides and give them out in your church or in your neighborhood or to your relatives. We need all to get people voting, because everything depends on having the right people in public office.
Okay, everybody, my name is Heather Neilson, and I'm speaking on behalf of Vicki Glisson this evening. She sends her regrets that she's not able to attend. She has a scheduling conflict. As you can imagine, things are getting extremely crazy since we're just about a week out. So I'm going to read a letter and a statement on her behalf. Dear friends, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for the invitation to appear this evening. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend to be with you here in person due to a scheduling conflict. I know how important it is for each of you and everyone here to know where a candidate stands on an issue, so I'm grateful for the opportunity. For many years, I have worked tirelessly to promote positive change in our city. As a lifelong Kentuckian, I've learned the values of hard work, responsibility, and perseverance while growing up on my family farm. Guided by those values, I've spent my career taking on tough issues, achieving tangible results, and have the record to prove it. Whether saving Kentucky $30 million a year by implementing reforms and efficiencies while serving as Secretary of the Cabinet for Health and Family Services in Frankfort, or spearheading efforts to promote innovative research in Kentucky's healthcare policies and laws, these successes have been driven by my commitment to lead and serve. I'm ready to bring that leadership to Washington. Louisville hasn't had a real voice in years. Our current congressman has been too busy working for his D.C. party bosses to remember that he's supposed to be working for us. This is why I have decided to run for Congress. Kentucky's 3rd congressional district needs someone who will always put Louisville first and fight for us and our values. Tackling the drug abuse epidemic, ensuring Louisville is able to economically compete with our neighboring cities, and creating a business-friendly environment are just a few of my priorities for this district. Being a strong voice for you also means defending the core principles that shape this great nation. It's time to return government to what America's founders originally intended it, limited. I will always defend your God-given rights, your freedoms, and your liberties. I believe the key to growing economically is freedom. Government's role should be minimal, taxes should be limited, and overregulation should not impede on success. I believe that life begins at conception and that we must speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. I'd also like to point out that Vicki received the Kentucky Right to Life endorsement. I'm strongly opposed to a single-payer healthcare system. We need more freedom in healthcare and more choices. Capitalism works for the same reasons the Affordable Care Act failed. When government tries to mandate prices, there's nothing that should drive those prices down, and the consumer pays the cost. I believe that religious liberties deserve the same protection as those of the rest of our liberties. Freedom of religion is a constitutionally protected right and should be held and defended in the law. Louisville deserves better. They can do better, and we must do better. I hope that you will join in our efforts, and I ask for your support in Tuesday's primary election. Thank you so much. Again, Vicky's so sorry that she can't be here, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
What's your last name?
Vicky Yates Brown Glisson. Glisson, Glisson.
This is Denise Raine, and she's running for state representative.
And I've also brought myself a couple of notes just so that I don't get chased off or the bell rang on me. I am Denise Raine, and I'm running for the 43rd District to be state representative. I am a small business owner. I am a person that is passionate for people and family oriented. Also, I have 10 plus years in community service and development. Some of the things that I'll fight for include not just criminal justice reform and better educational and career opportunities, but also for the not just safety but beautification of our neighborhood. Where strong families are very important to me. In campaigning, I've heard from several judicial candidates about some of the things and the statistics that exist within family court, and it's startling. And I come from a strong family. I raised a strong family. As a matter of fact, I'll have to jet set out of here to go get my son from an activity. And it's such an honor to speak to you all and already quite understanding. And he's not at all bothered because he realizes even before age 8 that his life and our lives are not our own, but it's to serve others. So I am fortunate in that regard with family. And I realize that our families and strong families are the key essential to our neighborhood's health and our city's health. Amen. And statewide. I did want to acknowledge that it's important that I receive you all's vote in the primary. It's interesting when you have a primary candidate because a lot of times you all will share in on big issues. However, it's incumbent upon us as a party to elect the candidate that can win in the general election. I am that candidate. I want to state that because I need you all's vote in the primary does not necessarily restrict you to being supportive of the campaign in other ways, but however, a vote for Denise Raine is a vote for a voice for everyone. So just again, to liken it to some of the judicial candidates, there will be impartiality in how I am a representative. I won't be able to just represent those that are able to contribute. I will be representing absolutely everyone in the district. It's particularly those who have felt that they have been ignored. And I do want to just go ahead and let you all know that once more, my name is Denise Raine. I ask for your vote May 22nd. State Representative, 43rd District. A vote for Denise Raine is a vote for a voice for everyone.
Anybody got a question for Denise?
Donna, what about busing? I really think there should be a panel to examine if we should repeal the Jefferson County busing assignment. And I'm thrilled personally that the state has stepped in to look at our school district and has sought to audit it and has threatened to seize control over it. I do believe our children need to go to school as close to home as possible. It allows them to be rested up and to compete with the other children. Thank you all so much.
Okay, Denise. Thank you. Miss O'Neil from the 7th Metro Council. Is O'Neil here?
I'm here.
Okay, come on up. Okay, it's going to be 3 minutes for you to just say everything you want to, and then another 30 seconds after that for they want to take questions.
All right. So my name is Lynn O'Neil, and I am running for Metro Council District 7. District 7 is located at the Westport Road, Her Lane area. It spans all the way down to Cox Park and all the way back up to Goose Creek Road. It is also bordering Blankenbaker Road and all the way down to Shelbyville Road. Again, my name is Shamika Lynn O'Neil. I'm running on the ballot as S. Lynn O'Neil. I was born and raised here in Louisville, Kentucky, in a working class family. My mother was a registered nurse, and my father, who is present with me tonight, was a retired Louisville Metro police officer, a police detective, as well as an agent at the Office of the Attorney General currently. He's always instilled in me determination, hard work ethic, and education. And with those goals in mind, I decided to pursue my dream of becoming an attorney. I used to go to court with my dad, and I would see how defense attorneys and attorneys would operate in the courtroom and how they could and would help people. And so I always wanted to do that. So I left Louisville to pursue my dream
of becoming an attorney. I went to the University of Kentucky, where I graduated with my Bachelor of the Arts in Political Science in 2004, and I went on to attend Northern Kentucky University Salmon P. Chase College of Law at NKU, where in 2009, I graduated with my JD. I'm now the owner and operator of S. Lynn O'Neil Attorney at Law, LLC, a law firm that serves Jefferson County and surrounding areas. We primarily specialize in criminal and family law issues, and I'm also a JCPS substitute teacher. So when I'm not in the courtroom, I'm in the classroom with our kids every day. I'm running for Metro Council District 7 because our representative, Miss Angela Leet, and I believe she's present in the building, she has had some great initiatives for our district. The Her Lane Transportation Plan, the Westport Road Stoplight, the Northeast Library, and I would like to continue to build on those initiatives. I would like to continue to see District 7 grow with innovative action. And so I would ask for your vote tonight. I would ask for your support going forward. The primaries are May 22nd, and I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on everything. O'NeilForCouncil.com. Vote for me. Thank you so much. Are there any questions for me tonight?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Has to do with the judicial system.
Okay.
One of the things that I'm concerned about for my children and my grandchildren is their safety.
Absolutely.
Obviously, that's on everybody's mind, especially these days. So what can you do to ensure these judges that are sitting the bench and issuing home incarceration and allowing these people to go home, cut their ankle bracelets off, and repeat offense? That's been one of my concerns. There is one particular judge.
Yes, sir. I believe I am familiar with the situation you are referring to and the one particular judge that you are talking about. In the criminal justice system, there are different instances in which a person can be bonded out. HIP is just one of them. I am for safety of our children and our families. That is my primary concern. So if that takes putting more officers on the street, that's what I believe we need to do. If that takes taking our teachers and students and making them safe, that's what I want to do. But I do understand that sometimes when someone is bonded out, that they become a concern to others because they are on HIP and they are able to cut off their monitoring bracelet. As a criminal defense attorney, I'll just quickly say that there are mechanisms in place to bring those people back to justice, okay? A fugitive task force, I believe, was most recently initiated that's specific to HIP to bring those individuals that are bonded out back into custody.
Angela Leet, is Angela here? You got 3 minutes just to talk, and then.
My name is Angela Leet. I'm actually running for the office of Louisville Mayor. I currently serve, yes, indeed. I currently serve as a city councilwoman for District 7, as you just heard. You already heard some of the initiatives I've worked on in that area. I am a Louisville native as well. One of my favorite little stories to tell is my dad, the lifelong Democrat union guy, at one point told me, he says, I don't understand how I spent all my money to get you educated and to ensure that you had a path forward in your life to do what you wanted to pursue and what passions you loved. And I said, Dad, stop there. I said, you've already said it. I said, you ensured I was educated. So I'm smart enough to be a Republican. I'm here, and part of the reason I'm running is having been on the inside of Metro Council, I see some of the things that aren't going right in our community, some of the decisions that are being made in regards to crime, abandoned houses, and graffiti, and litter, and the things that aren't being taken care of in our neighborhoods, and providing strong neighborhoods and strong families. And the point is that we need to be out there taking care of those things. I provide a lot of qualified experience. I went to University of Louisville. I had to pay for my way through college because that was what my family could afford. So I worked 3 entry-level jobs, minimum wage jobs in retail and restaurants, all those places where we start our first jobs to make it. And I paid my way through college and got a master's degree in engineering. I spent some time in South Texas, and while I was there working as an environmental engineer, I also worked towards my master's in business, so I have an MBA. Additionally, I got my industrial firefighting certificate as well as an emergency medical technician certificate. So as you can see, I have a lot of excellent experience that matters to what basic government services are supposed to be for our community. They're supposed to be focused on public safety, supposed to be focused on infrastructure, and supposed to be focused on providing opportunities for people to have a strong place to raise their family, a safe place, a healthy place to raise their families. And that's what I'm going to fight for as your next mayor. I do have a primary on May 22nd, so I please ask you to go out. We can't do this together. We have to stick together as Republicans to get this done. It's possible. We can win in Metro Louisville, and we can stand for the things that we value. Well, okay, so the question was about sanctuary cities. As you all may know, that there was an ordinance that came through Metro Council not long ago, and I absolutely voted no.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Palazzo. Oh my goodness, I'm always told to be quieter. My name is Rhonda Palazzo, and I am running for U.S. Congress, District 3, which is all of Jefferson County. I would never say anything bad about my opponent, but she said she's concerned about the issues, but didn't show up. I'm sorry. The American family is the issue. That is our issue nowadays. That is why we have so much crime. That is why we have drug addiction. We have neglected the family. That's the problem.
That's right.
I want to tell you what I support. I support our President Trump's initiative. I do support our president. I think we need more unity in the Republican Party in Congress. I support Israel.
Amen.
If you're a Christian, you have to support Israel. The Bible says, what did it say? If God told Abraham, I will bless those that bless you, and I will curse those that curse you.
That's right.
I totally support Israel. And the most important thing right now in America is religious liberty. We are under attack. I will fight to the end for religious liberty. This cake business with the Supreme Court, I will vote for conservative Supreme Court nominee. I'm a conservative, a constitutional conservative. I support especially the First Amendment. I support the Second Amendment. I'm an entrepreneur, self-employed, been in business my whole life. So I'm a friend of business. I think less government, less taxes, less wasteful spending. I'll be tough on immigration. My grandfather was an immigrant, but he did it the right way, the legal way, and that's the way it should be done. Now, I'm going to tell you about my qualifications in the last minute. I thought, oh, dear Lord, am I really qualified to go to Congress? 541 members of Congress, 445 members of the House of Representatives. I have 25 years experience as an investment advisor, a stockbroker. Do you know how many people we have with investment experience out of 445? One. Do you know I have an accounting degree? Do you know how many people with accounting degrees out of 445? Eight people. Maybe that's why they can't balance the budget. I have 10 years of banking experience. Only 14 have banking experience. And I'm a real estate agent, and there's only 31 with real estate experience. Thank you. I want to thank you for my endorsement. This group endorsed me. Thank you very much, and thank you for letting me speak. Vote Rhonda Palazzo in the primary, U.S. Congress.
Running for 26th senatorial district in the state of Kentucky. Alex?
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So glad to be here. In a primary, the biggest concern is voter turnout. When we're breaking the fire code at a firehouse, I think we know we've got some responsible citizens in the room that are going to vote May 22nd. My hope is that in this room we're full of small government, constitutional-minded Republicans, because that's the reason that I'm in this race. I've been in small business since I was 11 years old. I had my first lawnmower. I worked at a small business bike shop during my teenage years. I've ran fireworks stands because I love small business. I have 3 current LLCs. I have a commercial property. I have a real estate company where we're hoping to get investment cabins. And I also have my law practice. 6 years ago, I graduated the University of Louisville, where I got my law degree. And I started practice when I was $126,000 in student loan debt. But I understand budgets. I understand hard work. And understand true conservative values. Those loans are gone. The last 2 years, my business has averaged over $1 million in revenue. I have 11 employees, and we built it on blessings from God and hard work. Those are the people that we need in Frankfort. We need fresh blood. new ideas, and people that are passionate about small government and low taxes. My race is against an incumbent who is an honorable man. He has been in office since 1995. However, despite both being Republicans, we are very different. I want Kentucky to grow revenue. I want Kentucky to quit banning industries. And I want Kentucky to raise revenue by increasing GDP instead of simply raising taxes. Unlike my opponent, I have not been on TV twice in the last 2 months advocating for higher gasoline tax, and you'll never see me do that. We pay enough taxes. Kentucky has a spending problem, and we need small government-minded constitutional Republicans up there to fix the problem. And you're not going to get it if we keep getting the same old, same old. We've got to get some new energy and new blood. Vote Alex White, May 22nd, Northeast Jefferson County, from Clifton to Prospect. Alex White. Thank you guys so much.
Senator Ernie Harris.
Well, thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. As Alex mentioned, I've served since 1995, and it's a privilege to serve. I'm a native of Oldham County and the northern part of Jefferson, and I'm privileged to defend my voting record. I served my country for 20 years in the Air Force. After that, I flew for UPS, and I've served in the state Senate since 95. The most important thing I think you can ask of elected officials is be true to their word. This is my first campaign brochure from many, many years ago. I promised to be pro-family, pro-business, anti-tax, anti-big government. To that end, pro-family and pro-life, I have the endorsement of Forum and Kentucky Right to Life. I've been active in my church. Pro-business, I've been endorsed by the Chamber of Commerce, Greater Louisville, Inc. I have a 100% voting record from the National Federation of Independent Businesses that represents 6,600 businesses in Kentucky. Anti-tax and fiscally responsible, I've been voted the taxpayer's best friend twice. Small government, in 1915 and 16, I received the award from Kentucky League of Cities as a friend of the cities. Pro-Second Amendment, I'm endorsed by the NRA. I have an A rating. I'm not just a life member, I'm an endowment member with the NRA. These outside groups validate that my voting record reflects what I promised years ago. This past session was tough. It was difficult, contentious, and there's no perfect bills, but we stopped the bleeding in pensions, we funded education at the highest level, and we began tax modernization by lowering the rate, expanding the base so that we can bring more in. I've got a vision for the future. The vision is this: economic development through three things. Better roads. I'm chairman of the Transportation Committee, and we're widening I-71 from LaGrange downtown eventually, multi-year process, lower rates, and also the investment, the $9 billion of investment and the 1,700 jobs depend on good education. My opponent just asked about the gas tax. Let me answer that question right now. If we don't restore what we lost a few years ago on our gas tax, there will never be another road built in Kentucky with state money only. And I can stay late to explain why, but that's why we have to restore that so that we can build the roads. Thanks so very much.